Yung kaso kasi natin, pinayag natin sa Supreme Court. Kung mag-grant yung TRO namin, indefinite po yan, unless reversed by the Supreme Court. So ang mangyayari po yan, kung mag-grantan kami ng TRO, wala na pong hearing.
Diretso na sila.
Oo, dahil wala nang proceeding ng Committee on Justice in the meantime. Okay? Or depende din sa
Yun ho talaga pinakaabangan natin eh. Yung wala na mag-grandstanding dyan sa committee na yan. Bulilyaso na naman ho ang plano ng mga kawatang congressman na miyembro ng Justice Committee sa hinihaing petisyon ng ating mga magigiting na abogado. Palakpakan ho muna natin. Itong si Atty. Israeli Teturion. Itong si Atty. Vic Rodriguez. Itong si Atty. JV Hinlo. Pero bago ho ang lahat ng yan, syempre, kaarawan ho ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kaya naman, sabay-sabay ho nating batiin itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte ng happy birthday. Strawberry cake yan siyempre, di ba? Alangan naman magbe-birthday si Tatay Digong nung walang pa-cake, di ba? Di naman maaari yun. Di ba? Ang birthday wish natin dito kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, kailangan niya magpakatatag. Dahil kailangan nating ng napakalupit na leader sa papalapit na 2028 presidential election. Siyempre, ang ating gustong makita pagka nanalo na si VP Sara, ang maghatid kay ang maghahatid dito kay VP Sara walang iba. Itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte dyan sa Malacanang. Kaya naman, Tatay Diggs, magpakatatag ka dyan. Kami talagang nananabik na sa iyong pag-uwi sa Pilipinas. No? Kahit ano pang sabihin ng mga yan, tayo umaasa at nananalangin na makakauwi ng malakas at ligtas sa ating bansa itong presidente na nagpakita sa atin na posible palang magkaroon ng tunay na pagbabago sa ating bansa. Muli, happy birthday, President Mayor Rodrigo Duterte. Ako na magbublow nito. Happy birthday, Tatay Diggs. Maraming salamat ha. Ang iyong prinsipyo at paninindigan, yan pa rin ang aming tinatayuan mapahanggang sa ngayong mga panahon na to. Kahit wala ka sa Pilipinas, yung iniwan mo sa amin na pagmamahal sa bansang Pilipinas, yan pa rin ang aming tinatayuan mapahanggang sa ngayong mga panahon na to. Eto na ho mga kababayan, syempre. Hindi ho pwedeng hindi ho natin pasadahan itong isinampang petition sa Korte Suprema ng ating mga magigiting na abogado. Lagi na lang hong barado ang galaw ng mga magnanakaw na kawatan na congressman dyan sa Committee on Justice. Ito ang problema kasi sa inyo, ang hihilig nyong gumamit ng kung ano-anong salita. Ang trial sa impeachment sa Senado. Hindi dyan sa House of Representatives. Kung sufficient inform and substance, rekta na kayo sa plenaryo, pagbotohan nyo na yan. Di ba wala namang problema sa atin? Okay lang yan. Kung matransmit yung mga articles of impeachment sa Senado, wala problema. Yun ang tamang lugar para sagutin ni VP Sara yung mga kasinungalingang ibinabato nyo sa kanya. Heto, nagsampa ng petition for certiorari and for revision with prayer for a TRO and or writ of preliminary injunction sa Supreme Court ang grupo ng mga abogado laban sa House Committee on Justice hinggil sa umuusad na impeachment proceeding kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Lininaw ng mga abogado na nagsampa sila ng petisyon hindi bilang kasama sa legal team ng bise, kundi bilang taxpayer at Filipino citizen. Palakpakan ho natin. Yan pagka ho kasi itong si Atty. Israeli Teturion at itong si Atty. Vic Rodriguez, nakikita yan itong si Baculaw. Medyo tumitindig na yung balahibo ni Baculaw. Kasi abogado di kampanilya ho yung mga yan. Anak ng Petra Karapata. Atty. Israeli Teturion, yan ho yan, suki sa Korte Suprema yan. At yung pinakahuling petisyon na isinampa niya dyan, yan ang dahilan kung bakit napasura yung impeachment laban dito kay VP Sara. Yung una, yung minadali nila, yung patong-patong na impeachment na ginawa nila, Atty. Israeli Teturion ang kumamada doon. Ngayon, kasama pa itong isa pang abogado di Campanilla na sigurado na yan. Sa 2028 talagang isa sa ating mga susuportahan. Atty. Vic Rodriguez, palakpakan ho natin. Maraming salamat. Talagang napakagandang napakagandang ika nga pangbungad na birthday party para dito kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Balita natin yung ating mga idolo nasa Davao City na. Tayo hindi makakabunta ngayon dahil ika nga meron ho tayong inaasikaso at aasikasuhin, no? Kaya kahit nandito ho tayo sa ating ika nga studio, happy birthday dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Happy birthday Mayor President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Palakpakan ho natin si Tatay Ding. Di ba? Siya ho kasi yung nagbigay ng yung glimpse, yung sulyap. Di ba? Siya yun eh. Di ba? Kung wala si Tatay Digong, baka ngayon pa sway tayo. Hindi natin malaman kung ano nga ba talaga yung mga dapat gawin para magkaroon ng pagbabago sa ating bansa. No? Maraming salamat ating Paulo Rodrigo Duterte. At dahil ho dyan sa petition na yan, siyempre kailangan sumagot ng mga magnanakaw sa congressman dyan sa inihain na petition na yan nitong si Attorney Shirley Tuturion at nitong si Attorney Vic Rodriguez. At tayo'y natutuwa, sa totoo lang, pag nakikita ho natin na merong ganitong galaw at yung mga individual na merong prinsipyo at paninindigan nagkakaisa sa mga ganitong klaseng bagay. Sobrang natutuwa ho tayo pag nakikita nating nagsasama-sama yung mga mga individual na yan. Ito, handang sagutin ng House Justice Committee ang hinihaing TRO petition laban sa impeachment proceeding ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Siguraduhin nyo, ha? Ganyan din sinabi nyo, di ba? Ganyan din yung narinig natin doon sa impeachment na binasura ng Korte Suprema. Di ba? Angas na angas kayong sasagutin namin yan. Kaya namin yan. Anak ng toko, maya-maya, ayun, binasura, unconstitutional, palakpakan. Kaya yung ginagawa nyo na yan, pagka TRO na naman yan, paano tayo tutuloy? Paano pagka sinabi na naman ng Korte Suprema na unconstitutional na naman ang ginawa nyo, di back to zero tayo ulit. O yan ang problema na naman natin dyan. O hold muna tayo sa impeachment. Wala muna kasi wala na, unconstitutional na ginagawa nila eh. Sila na ang complainant, sila na ang magpipresenta ng testigo, ebidensya, sila pa ang huhusga sa ebidensya at testigo, sila pa ang hahatol na i-impeach si BP Sara dyan sa House of Representatives. Di ba? Saan ho yung fairness doon? Sila lang ang makakapag-cross-examine sa mga witness, ebidensya o kung ano pa man. Si BP Sara hanggang ano lang siya. Oo, hindi, pwede. Ganon lang. Wala akong cross-examination na mangyayari. Tanungan blues lang ho siya dyan. Kaya yung isinampa na yan, itong sila Attorney Vic at itong si Attorney Shirley Tuturion. Saludo ho tayo dyan. Napakalupit na talagang dito sa isa na to, sa tingin natin, hindi na naman makakatulog itong si Bahulaw ngayong gabi. Rekta ho tayo dito sa ano muna tayo, comedy muna tayo, okay? Ihanda nyo na ho ang inyong mga ulo dahil pasasakitin ho yan itong si Marcos Jr. So,
yung ating tuloy na paghahanap ng supply.
Anak ng tokwa, opening salvo pa lang. Yung ating tuloy kagad. Yung ating paghahanap patuloy. Kumpletuhin mo. Alam ko yung utak mo sinasabi niya na sinabi mo na yung mga salita na yon. Alam ko dahil bangag ka eh. Alam ko dahil damage na yung tuktok mo na yan eh. Sa kakapulburon mo eh. Nakakasira ho ng tuktok yan. Yung kakasinghot ng pulburon. Kaya tayo ho dito sa PH Update, kung sakaling nagrarap yung sintu-sintu na yan, hindi na ho tayo nagtataka. Nakakasira ng tuktok ang pinapasok niya sa utak niya.
Ng langis at saka mga produktong petroleum products. At sinabihan ako ng namamahala ng Petron, si Mr. Ramon Ang, na sa kasalukuyan, ang ating supply ay hanggang end of June 30.
Anak ng Petron Garapata. Pribadong sektor ang magsasabi sa atin kung gaano katagal at gaano karami ang ating supply. Hindi maliho ata yun. Maliho at ibig sabihin, di talaga natin kontrolado. Kasi kung ano lang sabihin ng mga malalaking negosyante, yun lang ang ating nasa state of energy crisis. Hindi ba pwedeng tayo nang magsabi, tayo nang tumingin sa mga libro nila? Walang Ramon Ang, walang mga oligarko ang magsasabi kung gaano pa karami supply natin. Yung confidence, kaya yung confidence ng ating mga kababayan, nawawala sa gobyerno dahil sa mga ganyang klaseng kabangagan. Nitong si Marcos Jr.
30, may supply tayo hanggang June 30. Pero hindi ibig sabihin na titigilan na natin ang paghahanap pa. Lahat ng mapapuntahan natin at makausap natin ay sinasabi natin naghahanap tayo kahit saan. At hindi lamang yung crude oil, kundi lahat ng produktong petrolyo, gasolina, diesel, kerosene, jet fuel, lahat yan ay naghahanap tayo sa buong mundo. Mabuti naman at
Naghahanap sa buong mundo. Ano yan? Worldwide searching ang nangyayari. Anak lang tawa ba? Pati ba sa Africa naghahanap tayo? Ganon, Mr. President, nakakatanga naman yung mga...
maganda ang relasyon natin sa ating mga naging kaibigan na iba't ibang bansa na kinakaibigan natin at malapit ang ating ang relasyon natin sa kanila. Pinagbibigyan naman tayo dun sa pagbigay ng supply dahil karamihan na oil producers ngayon ay hindi masyadong nag-export. Pero pinagbibigyan nga tayo, they give us special consideration and concessions para dito. Kaya nandyan ang supply natin. Merong mga...
yung Sara Sky. Pambihira, ibinibida mo. Antinding pang tutrol ng ng Russia Matinding pang tutrol ho yun mga kababayan. Mantakin nyo sa dami-dami ng mga barkong pwede nilang ipadala. Ang pangalan pa ng barko, Sara Sky. Palakpakan. Pambihira.
Nagtatanong din kung ano yung mangyayari sa ASEAN Summit. Nagtanong kami sa lahat ng we have consulted with our counterparts in the other member states.
Cancel na yan. Anak ng toko, anong gagawin nyo dito? Ang gagawin nila dito, bangag yung presidente natin. Anong gagawin ng mga karating bansa natin dito sa Pilipinas? Anong pag-uusapan nila? Yung schedule mo ng pagpupulburon? Ibibida mo sa kanila kung paano katindi yung pangsinghot ng ginagawa mo? Ilang balik ba yan, Brad, pagka suminghot ka? Nakakailang balik ka ba? Panood ko si Aklas di ba? Matindi yun. 10 balik yun. Ikaw, ilang balik ang kaya mo?
The 10 other member states. And the question that I asked them is very simple. Would you prefer...
Kaya mo bang magtanong ng complex question? Kaya mo ba? Kaya mo bang maglatag ng complex na tanong? Kaya simple lang yan. Kasi yun lang ang kaya mo. Kung yung pa English mo lang, hindi porket nag-English ka, automatic malalim ka. Huwag ko kayo maniwala doon. Napakalaging kabalbalan nun. Kaya si Tatay Digong, bihira mag-English yun Kung pwede nga lang bisayain tayo nun, bibisayain tayo nun.
Because everybody is busy with the oil crisis that's going on because of the war in the Middle East. Would you like to postpone the ASEAN Summit? The consensus that we came to is that it is precisely now that we must coordinate our efforts. So that is what we are going to do. Ipapatuloy natin yung ASEAN Summit. Ngunit, the way that we describe it is that we have it is a bare bones ASEAN Summit. It's just we will be talking about 3 main subjects: about the supply of petroleum and petroleum products, about the supply of food and the price of food, and migrant workers. Those will be the 3 subject matters that we will be taking up in the ASEAN Summit. It will be over a period of maybe a day and a half. Imbes na yung mahaba, all what we had planned, lahat ng plinano natin, sabi ko, baka hindi naman ngayon ang panahon na masyadong elaborate ang ating preparasyon. Ang kailangan talaga sa panahon na ito ay makapag-usap kami mga leader upang malaman natin kung what do we do in the future, what do we do for the rest of the year, what do we do, how can we help each other. and what is the ASEAN position regarding all of these shocks that are coming our way. So that is yun ang nagiging usapan sa ASEAN. Tuloy tayo sa May 7, May 8, but as I said, it will be a very bare-bones summit which will focus very closely on those three subject matters.
Ang dami pang anggulo, naklantaw ka. Paulit-ulit naman, nakailang minuto ka na sa ASEAN? 6 minutes lang nga lang yung interview mo na yan, bababaran mo pa sa ASEAN?
Oil, food, and migrant workers.
Sir, sa halip na dalawang leader summit, isa na lang po ba ang magiging leader summit?
Tingnan nyo ho, yung reporter tanong pa summit. Dami natin problema nyo summit.
For this year?
Wala tayong, hindi natin na pinag-uusapan muna yung sa November. So sa ngayon, tentatively, tuloy pa yung sa November. Ginawa na namin. Tapos na yun. That's why. Siguro by September, October, magtatanong na tayo kung ano yung gustong gagawin ng yung mga ibang leader. Kung makarating man sila, etc. So, pero right now, we are focused on the summit in May.
Sir, may nananawagan na kongresista na bawasan po ang budget ng ASEAN. From 20, gawin na lang daw po 10. Yung 12 billion, ibigay na lang daw po dun sa mas nangangailangan yung apektado ng krisis. Ano po masasabi niyo, sir?
Ginawa na namin. Tapos na yun. That's why we did this. That's exactly why we did it. One of the big reasons why we did this. Yeah.
Sir, what are your thoughts on the proposal to repeal the oil redegradation law and remove the VAT on fuel imports?
As I said before, nothing is being discounted. Ibig sabihin, lahat ng maaring gawin upang meron tayong magawa para tulungan na pagaangin ang epekto at nitong nangyari itong gera sa Middle East ay talagang pinag-uusapan namin. But what we are focused now is immediate. We will have to amend the oil regulation. Mahaba pa ng discussion yan. I don't know when it will come out. So we are focused right now on the immediate, what we can do immediately. Kagaya nung sinabi ko sa statement ko, kung ano yung maaari nating paratingin kaagad na tulong sa taong bayan, yun ang aming ginagawa, yun ang namin pinag-iisipan ngayon. But as I said, kahit lahat ng maaring gawin, tinitignan namin, pinag-aaralan namin.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. President.
Kagaya ng ating nanostra, anong ininostra natin dito sa PH Update? Walang humpay na pag-aaral. Yan hong pambubudol na yan ni Marcos Jr. Ano na ho, wag na ho kayong tawag dito, magpaloko diyan sa budol-budol Marcos na yan. Wala akong gagawin yan kundi mag-aral. Puro aral. Gutom na sambay ng Pilipino, nag-aaral pa rin. Yung 20 pesos na bigas, mapahanggang sa, malamang mapahanggang sa ngayong mga panahon na to, pinag-aaralan pa rin ho niya. Ngayon, matatapos na termino niya, baka hindi pa ho niya tapos pinag-aaralan yan. Kasi ang pag-aaral ho niyan hindi natatapos. Nag-drop out nga yan Kaya wag na ho tayong umasa. Ika nga, dito sa administrasyon na to, wala ho tayong aasahan sa gobyerno. Ang pag-asa lang ho talaga natin, ang awa ng Diyos ng tadhana. Ang may kapal, awa na lang ho ng may kapal ang ating inaasahan dito. Diba? Kung bigyan niya ho ng kaliwanagan ng kaisipan, matanggal ang kanyang kabangagan, ang pagpapasalamat ho doon, doon sa Diyos na lumikha. Diba? Hindi siya kung kanino pa man. Dahil ngayong mga panahon na to, 3 taon na ho tayong binubudol ng walang yang administrasyon na to. Rerekta ho tayo ngayon dito sa presscon ng ating mga maiisog. Game!
That all branches of the government, including the legislative branch, accord the proper due process. But what we can see that is happening now in Congress, it's not even an overreach, a legislative overreach. It is a clear violation of the Constitution. We cannot speak of due process when we are violating the very due process that should be accorded to the respondent in the impeachment complaint. And again, as read in the opening statement by Attorney Torion, it was made very, very clear contribution in our capacity as Filipino citizens, taxpayer, in my case, as an officer of the court and as a member of the Integrated Bar. Nakikita namin na talagang linalapas tama ng saligang batas. We have to have a basic understanding of what the Constitution is. The Constitution is the supreme and fundamental law of the land, to which all laws, regulation, and contracts must conform, even the acts of those who are in government and outside of the government. And again, during the opening statement led by Attorney Torion, it was made very, very clear what is sauce for the gander should be the sauce for the goose. Meaning, kung ano ang sukatan binigay mo kay Bongbong Marcos, ganun din dapat ang sukatan mo na ibinibigay kay Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Because falling short of that very same standard that they have used and observed just a few weeks back, then you are violating the equal protection of the law. Anong pagkakaiba ng Presidente sa Vice President? And we will not allow, again, as private citizens, as taxpayers, as Filipino citizens, as officer of the court, as member of the Philippine Bar, we will not allow any blatant constitution. And finally, this is from my personal take on why I joined as petitioner in this petition for certiorari and prohibition. We are witnessing an excessive, malevolent, wanton waste of public funds. Krisis na tayo eh. Imbis na tugalan, yung naghihirap na kababayan, impeachment pa rin. Buti sana kung totoo. Kung meron man dapat ma-impeach, and I say this in front of you, it should be Bongbong Marcos and no other.
Saludo,
Any
saludo.
other follow-up question po?
Attorney, for instance,
Ma'am, can you approach the mic stand so that audible din po sa lahat, since we also have other friends of the media na listening sa Zoom. Thank you.
Attorney, follow for my first question. For instance, what if it will not grant the TRO? What is our next step?
That is very speculative, no? I will confer with my fellow petitioners if that will not be granted. Certainly, there will be remedies and we will be availing those remedies. And we are confident that after our conference, we will be able to choose the best remedy that is best for a country likewise.
Any other questions?
I would like to add to the comment of Attorney Torion. The TRO or an injunction is not determinative as to the result of this petition. The court may not proceed with the TRO, but it may decide to rule later on the prayers of the petition. So, it is the choice of the court if it wants to grant the TRO or it wants to deliberate on the matter and decide later on. Now, I would like to add to the comment of Attorney Vic regarding equal protection of the laws. No? Under Article 3, Section 1 of the Philippine Constitution, all persons similarly situated must be treated alike under the law. If the Committee of Justice of the House of Representatives were liberal in their approach to the impeachment complaint against President Marcos, they cannot change the rule of the game and be strict in its applications against VP Sara. Example, during the study of the case against President Marcos, were there any issue as to a demand to subpoena the bank account of President Marcos? Baka may makita tayong maraming pera kung isinabina yung account ni President Marcos. Were there not any attempts to likewise expand the subpoena of Marcos, the immediate family? Baka may makita rin tayong maraming pera sa mga kamag-anak niya. Were there also attempt to expand the subpoena to look into the SAML
of all the relatives in government of President Marcos. Bakit kay VP Sara lang? That is one major point in this petition. The equal protection clause of the Constitution must be respected. It cannot apply only against VP Sara if it has not been applied by the House of Representatives to a prior respondent in the person of President Marcos. Thank you.
Just a quick so that the public can really have a grasp of what we are talking about here. What Attorney Vic Rodriguez was referring to vis-a-vis the Equal Protection Clause and explained further by Attorney J.D. Hinlo was the ruling of the Committee on Justice before about the impeachment complaint against President Marcos. They issued Committee Resolution 111. And accordingly, according to the committee, the complaint against President Marcos was insufficient in substance, and therefore it was dismissed because it lacked ultimate facts which would describe the complaint as amounting to the crimes that are described under the 1987 Constitution as impeachable, such as graft and corruption, grave violation of the 1987 Constitution, bribery, other high crimes, etc. So, since the complaints there did not amount to ultimate facts describing the complaints as those crimes, similar to those crimes, or exactly those crimes, mandated or described in the 1987 Constitution, then therefore, the case was dismissed. Kaya dito, ganun din eh. Ganun din ang nangyari. Walang ultimate facts na mag-describe sa mga kaso na
Hindi lang ho gumagalaw yung video pero ano yan, tuloy-tuloy lang. Medyo naglalag lang ho yung video pero yung audio tuloy-tuloy ho.
ang corruption na yun kay VP Sara mismo, grave violation of Constitution na yun, other high crimes na yun, iwala eh. Kaya nga, sinasabi namin that
May sumili pa. Hindi pa ho natin pag-uusapan yung mga
what is good for the gander should likewise be good for the goose. And i-dismiss nyo doon kay Presidente Marcos, dapat dito rin kay VP Sara, i-dismiss ninyo. And doon kay Presidente Marcos, hindi nga kayo nag-issue ng mga sabpina eh. Dito, mga sabpina ninyo, maski mga tao walang kinalaman doon sa impeachment complaint, pinapasabpina. Anong klase yan? Pati law firms, pinapasabpina. Pati yung mga ibang mga entities na hindi described sa complaint, pinapasabpina. That is overreach to our mind. And by the way, we are joined by Attorney Wendell Abisado and Attorney ating pong kaibigan, no? Si Attorney James Reserva of Butuan. Why? Because some people intend to later on.
Wala na ho tayong maraming segue dahil ika nga gusto ho nating namnamin ang sasabihin ng ating ika nga mga kapanalig dito sa issue na to ng impeachment at kung anong klaseng kabalbala ng mga pinagagawa nila dyan sa House of Representatives. Wala na ho tayong maraming segue.
Thank you very much, Attorney Torion. We have questions here from the media. We have Hector Lawas from abogado.com.ph for Attorney Torion. Is the petition premature in as much as the camp of VP Sara says that the proper forum is the Senate and not the House Committee on Justice?
No, it's not premature. Specifically in this case, that the Committee on Justice already decided to issue a subpoena, and subpoena has in fact been issued. And therefore, we have the right to inquire as to whether or not it is within the power of the House of Representatives, specifically Committee on Justice, to conduct such investigation in such a manner as to in fact search for evidences when these evidences are not even attached in the complaint itself. The duty of the Committee on Justice, to our humble mind, is that it is a constitutional task to actually be the investigator itself and look for evidence evidences in order to strengthen the case. They never did that to President Marcos. Why do it against VP Sara Duterte? That's an equal protection clause matter that deserves to be raised to the Supreme Court as the highest court of the land.
If I may add, sa sinabi ng Attorney Torion, alam mo ninyo, the reason why we go to the Supreme Court and file this petition for certiorari of prohibition, precisely because we are asking the court to intervene and allocate constitutional boundaries to this legislative overreach. Sumusobra side of the constitutional law, the House Committee, the House of Representatives Committee on Justice is already operating outside of the constitutional orbit. That is why we have decided, when they started issuing subpoena, to go to the Supreme Court. There is no other place, simple and adequate remedy in the ordinary course. It is 65, the certiorari and prohibition.
Thank you very much, Attorney Vic. Yes, a question from the floor.
Good afternoon, Pam from Third Floor Studio. Do you expect
Oh, pumila to Busy.
the House's procedural process in handling the Vice President's impeachment? And what if they argue that your initiative is political, given that the PDP brand is strongly reflected in your composition? First question is, do you expect this filing to test the veracity of the House's procedural
Not
process?
just to test, but to strike down this legislative overreach. That is the primary purpose. We are not here to test the constitutional process being observed in the House of Representatives. It is our position that there is a clear violation of the Constitution. And that is why, again, we ran to the Supreme Court precisely for the court to intervene and allocate constitutional boundaries in this burning issue that we are all dealing with today. For the second,
The second question is, what if they argue that your initiative is political, given that the PDP brand is strongly reflected in your composition?
well, it's up to them. As sila rin naman lagi nagsasabi na yung
Malupit yung tanong na yun. Malupit yung tanong
impeachment
na yun.
process is more political than legal, which is also wrong. Because in the decision of then by Senior Associate Justice Bobby Clonen, while acknowledging that impeachment is sui generis, sinabi rin doon malinaw that it is not exclusively political but rather a play of both legal and political. And we come here, I personally, I speak for myself, again, to try to strike down the unconstitutional process being observed in the House of Representatives. And secondly, to put a stop, to put a break, preno muna dito sa wanton waste of public funds. The people are already hard up. Our public coffers are already bleeding. Nauuwi sa korupsyon, and they are busy with wanton waste of public funds and public resources. That is my reason for joining as one of the petitioner.
If I may add, para maintindihan ko ng ating mga kababayan, tinayin po namin ito kasi kung tingnan mo kahapon, yung ginagawa ng mga congresspersons natin, nakakaloka na. Bakit nakakaloka? Well, it has become a fishing expedition.
Fishing
The
expedition.
House Committee on Justice is supposed to limit itself in accordance with
Bababaran ho natin to. Kung kaya natin tapusin tong presko na to, tatapusin ho natin mga kababayan.
what is stated and contained in the impeachment complaint. It is not supposed to become the investigator and the evidence gatherer for the impeachment complaint. If it lacked sufficiency in form, it lacks sufficiency in substance, it only has one direction, and that is to dismiss the case. But what they are doing in this case is actually conducting a fishing expedition, which to our mind should be struck down by the Supreme Court because it has become an affront to the dictates or to the contours of the powers granted by the 1987 Constitution to the House of Representatives.
Last question from our end. Was it necessary or there is a violation in issuing subpoena to one of Vice President's defense lawyers, Attorney Poa, at this early stage?
That is precisely one of the reasons why the petition itself, because we are aware, all law students know the lawyer-client relationship. It is a cross-up. And if you actually involve the lawyer who is merely performing his job, then lawyers later on may not be able to perform his or her functions efficiently and effectively. That is similar to a priest-penitent relationship, governed not only by our rules but by our laws likewise. And to expand the impeachment complaints investigation and subpoena to the lawyer, to our mind, is really overreach and must be clipped by the Supreme Court. And that is why that's one of the reasons why we filed this case in the first place.
Another question here from Tech Torres, Tupas of Inquirer. Aside from the March 25 issuances, are there specific documents or witnesses that the committee is targeting that you believe fall entirely outside the original allegations? Are there specific documents or witnesses the committee is targeting that fall outside the original allegations?
Actually, yes. I actually conducted a comparison chart of the statements made in the complaint. There are actually 12. And they asked for subpoena 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 12. Okay? Just to give you a concrete example, so as to properly inform the inquirer on the matter. In the allegation of there is this allegation, Salden, unexplained wealth, non-disclosure theory, in the third complaint of Savalia, under Article 5, it involves unexplained wealth and Salden, non-disclosure, alleges the respondent's salary could not explain hundreds of millions in her bank accounts, and concludes that she failed to disclose assets and true net worth. You can find this under paragraphs 285 to 290 of the complaint. And in the fourth complaint of Cabrera, under Article 5, it refers to preliminary documentary leads, public records, omissions and inconsistencies in salaries, suspicious cash flows, possible nominee arrangement, and asks for bank records and forensic accounting that can be found in paragraphs 233 and paragraphs 247 to 2022 and 2023 for ITRs of VP Sara and Manasseh Carpio. It subpoenaed the SEC general information sheets, audited financial statements, and corporate documents of multiple companies which are not even stated in the complaint. SEC corporate records motions approved. So, our remark here, our comment is that this is with specificity that violations in the complaint and that the corporation were not mentioned or included in the complaint. The proposed. The meeting was not politically clear for one. So that is just one example. I can cite to you 9 other examples. And for lack of material time, I can just send to you a comparison chart to prove my point that the committee here is not actually investigating. It is conducting a clear fishing expedition which is not sanctioned under the 1987 Constitution or in the rules of the House of Representatives.
Yes. To assist the point of Attorney Torion, in the recent cases of Sara Duterte versus HOR and Torion et al. Versus HOR, the polity in this case, Justice Leone, has specifically stated that one of the reasons why the original impeachment process was struck down is because under paragraph 6, the basis of any charge must be for impeachable acts or omissions committed in relation to their office and during the current term of the impeachable officer. The subpoenas for the son-in of VP Sara for the years where she was still mayor of Davao City and not yet vice president should actually not fall under the ambit of this current investigation process of the Committee on Justice. We can see here that there is really a fishing expedition to look at ano ba ang pwede nila tingnan para mabahira nila ng masamang komento ang ating Vice Presidente. It's clear that under due process only acts done during her term where she na sa which is very, very wrong. Let's
So, viral pa naman yan. Baka sabihin na isang example niya to yun sa kanya to. Is linked to respond to what it does not specifically even while alleging unexplained wealth and non-disclosure, paragraphs 285 to 290. In the fourth paragraph, Article 5, it speaks just structures, associates, relatives, or corporate
Sa kanyang ginagawa. If they want to continue, they want to continue. They will continue. Kaya namin, kaya naman tumakbo sa Korte Suprema. And if I may add to the question a while ago by TV Rodolfo, the reason why we run to the Supreme Court, because we are optimistic that because of the urgency and the importance of the issue at hand, the Supreme Court will not hesitate to strike down matters that are patently unconstitutional. Now, we do not want to get ahead of the entire judicial process. We will take it a day at a time. And again, as to the comment of the lawmaker part of the impeachment process, we are not saying that the stop right here, right now. No. Kung ihinto niya mabuti, because we're not going to personally benefit from it. Ang aming kinakatawan din dito, yung nagtuturo ng public funds natin. Wala nang pera mga Pilipino. Ang dami na nilang inahataw. Gutom na tao, and coming up here, I spoke to you briefly, and you just informed me, by next week, there will be another round of a fuel price increase. Ilang increase pa ba para matauhan sila na dapat ang tugunan muna itong hinaharap nating global economic, oil, and energy crisis, not this house-style impeachment that we are now hearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Justice.
Yes, to add to that, we all know that the Committee on Justice is acting akin to a prosecutor, same sa criminal cases. So what does a prosecutor do in cases na ganito? It's just a preliminary investigation. Titingnan if what is included in the complaint matches whatever crime has been committed. And that should be the case in this impeachment also. We can see that there are so many issues na hindi nalagay sa complaint balik-balikan. Let us be guided by the case of Duterte versus Sandigan Bayan. There are two purposes of a preliminary investigation. First is to secure the innocent against hasty, malicious, and oppressive persecution. Let's ask ourselves, ito ba ang ginagawa ng HOR ngayon, ng Committee on Justice? Are they doing anything hasty, malicious, or oppressive? The second is, and it's a practical purpose, no, which is sabi ni Atty. Vic talaga, this is something that we should think about. To protect the state from having to conduct useless and expensive trials. So we are already guided by the issuances of the Supreme Court before pa on what really preliminary investigation is. So considering that it is the procedure of the HOR is akin to that of the prosecutor, should not we also be guided by these two guidelines? So that's the point that we are trying to make here as the petitioners in this certiorari case.
One last addition lang, no, doon kay Representative Chua. Pakisabi lang ni Congressman, baka naman gusto niyo imbestigahan yung grabe pagtaas ng ating gasolina. Tayo ata ang the only country in the world na may pinakamataas, steep masyadong spike ng gasolina, which affected so many people na. If you go to my town in Bansalan, in Matanao, Davao del Sur, mamahal ka ng mga bilihin doon. Yung sana pagtuunan ng pansin ng Kongreso, paano tayo makaahon dito sa malaking krisis ngayon. Hindi itong impeachment kay VP Sara, klaro naman na politically driven ito at walang kabuluhan itong mga kaso nito. Kaya nga dumulog na kami sa Korte Suprema Kasi alam mo naman, dumulog kami doon sa Kongreso, hindi naman nila kami pakikinggan. So, dumulog na lang kami doon sa Korte Suprema. Imbestigahan nila itong ating malaki masyado yung presyo ng ating gasoline. Tayo ang may pinakamataas na spike sa buong Asya. Yes. Alam mo ba kung final itong kaso na ito? Nagpadala po ako ng sulat doon po sa Committee on Justice. The night before they began their proceedings, I wrote a letter. They never replied. Pero ang naging resulta naman, the day after, we withdraw yung second complaint. We withdraw yung second kasi doon sa letter ko, sabi ko kasi, yung first two complaints, premature yun kasi that was before February 6. And the Supreme Court in Duterte versus House of Representatives and Torreon versus House of Representatives was very clear. Any and all impeachment complaints should be filed no later than February 6. February 1 and 2 yun So, sabi ko, dapat na-dismiss yun. Ang ginawa nila, pagka morning, 8:15, withdraw nila yung second complaint. Bakit withdraw? Kasi sabi ko, yung third complaint effective din yan, aside from being repackaged, ay tagalugin ko na lang nag-prove ko naman siguro sa inyo, marunong din ako mag-English. Yung third complaint kasi was sponsored by Representative De Lima. The second complaint likewise was sponsored by Secretary De Lima. Kaya nga sa opening statement ko, ang sabi ko, an endorsement is a sacrosanct process. Why? Because it gives legislative sanction on an act of an individual in filing a complaint before the House of Representatives, an impeachment complaint. No, now, the representative therefore must also ensure and see to it that the recitations in the complaint contain ultimate facts which would amount to the crimes mandated in the 1987 Constitution, such as betrayal of public trust, corruption, etc., etc. Doon kasi, nag-endorse si Representative De Lima sa second, and at the same time, mas improve na ito mag-endorse din, hindi naman po pwede yun sa tingin namin. Sa process yan, hindi naman po pwede na, okay ito. At the same time, okay din ito kasi mas improve, hindi po pwede yan. Sa amin yan, dapat yan, yung third complaint, defective yun, dismiss yun kagad. Yung fourth complaint naman, sabi naman namin, rehas na naman yan, noon pa yan. I-apply na yung committee resolution ng 111. Doon kasi, sa kaso against kay Presidente Marcos, dinismiss ninyo kasi nga, kulang-kulang yung mga complaints, wala silang sinabi, wala silang mga ebidensya, which would amount to graft and corruption, bribery, etc. So, dinismiss sila. I-apply din ninyo yan kay Vice President Duterte. Hindi eh. They post with and corruption, bribery, etc. So, dinismiss sila. I-apply din ninyo yan kay Vice President Duterte. Hindi eh. They post with a third and fourth impeachment complaint. So, saan kami gugulo? Nagdudulog kami sa Korte Suprema. Kasi pinagkakog naman yan ng ating salikang batas sa amin. Yan po ang ginawa.
We have a question from Facebook. Bisaya ni pero i-translate na lang ako for the benefit of our other guests. Attorney, totoo po ba na unfreeze na yung mga accounts sa flood control? Bakit hindi nila yung inuna? Bakit ito pang impeachment?
Tama yung comment ko, no? We're talking of billions of pesos na allegedly, trillion, sabi ni Tony Bobet, na nawala din sa flood control controversy. So, dapat yun yung inuna. This one, it involves a small amount, no? So, nawawala na sa issue na siyang issue nakakasakit sa mga Pilipino. Dapat yung issue ng flood control, yung tutukan ng Kongreso, yun nga lang, kung ayaw talaga nila na malaman natin yung katotohanan, nililihis tayo sa ibang mga topiko kagaya ng impeachment. I would just like to make a comment. This petition has been filed with the Supreme Court. Malaki po yung role ng Korte Suprema para maging maayos ang ating bansa, magkaroon ng political stability. Kaya yung mga malalaking issue na may mga pending na kaso sa Korte Suprema, ako po ay umapila sa ating mga justices. Sana po mabigyan na po ng mga desisyon ito, gaya yung sa kaso ni Tatay Digong, yung china-challenge natin na arbitrary arrest niya at pinadala siya sa ibang bansa, magiging birthday na ni Tatay Digong bukas. Sana po to our Supreme Court Justices, to the Chief Justice, as an officer of the court, I would like to appeal that at the earliest possible time, please put a decision to the case regarding our former President Duterte. Salamat po.
Last two questions. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I will follow the Ms. Board. Anybody po, baka nakulit na rin yung question. Can the Vice President be compelled to attend the HO, Committee on Justice?
Again, thank you, Rosano. The reason why we ran to the Supreme Court, primarily because of a clear patent violation of the Constitution in the process being observed in the House of Representatives. And we did not invent this yesterday or this morning when we filed the petition. It's very clear in the Constitution. There is only one entity that will act as the impeachment court, whether a trial or litigation will be held, and that is within the exclusive ambit of authority or jurisdiction of the Philippine Senate, not of the House of Representatives, more so, not of a mere House of Representatives standing committee. Ang kanila lang is to determine whether there is sufficiency in form, substance, and grounds. But walang trial, walang mini-trial. Paano pag pinayagan natin yung mini-trial version nila? Yung mini-trial version, yung findings ba niya, will be adopted in toto by the Senate, assuming umabot sa Senate itong impeachment. Paano magbibigay ang Senado? Anong mangyayari sa findings sa mini-trial kung hindi papaningan ng Senado? That will create a crisis. That is why the framers of our Constitution made it very, very clear. While under Article 11, Section 3, all impeachment complaint shall be initiated before the House of Representatives. Hanggang doon lang sila. Pagdating pagdating sa pagdinig, pagdating sa trial, pagdating sa presentation of evidence, and counter evidence, Senado na at walang iba. Malinaw yan.
Thank you, Attorney. How positive, sirs, are you that the Supreme Court will act swiftly on the certiorari petition that you have been filed today?
Well, this is a case of transcendental importance, no? And we can only hope and pray that the Supreme Court will act on the matter fast, no? And we would not dictate upon the discretion of the Supreme Court, but we are hoping as taxpayers and citizens of the Republic that since the matters that are discussed, raised in our petition are so important, that they would likewise act on the same right away. Now, regarding your first question as to whether or not the Vice President can be compelled to testify, we would like to invite your attention to Article 3, Section 17 of the 1987 Constitution, insofar as right against self-incrimination. A person cannot be compelled to testify against himself. And this right can be applied in criminal, civil, or administrative cases. There is just one issue here, as to whether or not the right can be invoked in a blanket manner or in a specific manner. When I say specific manner, when a particular question is asked, and that is when a person can invoke his or her right. And here, it is within the discretion of the Vice President to invoke her blanket right to refuse to testify because of her own reasons. And we are talking here about impeachable office. She occupies the second highest position of the land, being the Vice President voted by 32 million people. And since there is still a process that is being conducted by the Committee on Justice, maybe, just maybe, I can only speculate, that she has taken the option of invoking such right in a blanket manner. And still, there is no violation on her part, on the part of the proceedings before the Committee on Justice, because that is one of her options provided by law, and she is simply availing the same.
Thank you. Last question from Sir Dennis Nelson.
Dean Attorney Israeli Totoyon, thanks for the invitation. Eskwelahan ko los DMC para abogado, pero buto di pa mabagsak. Sorry. Anyway, Dean, if in case pa, let's put it this way. In a picture, if in case the TRO will be granted, then how many days pa yun?
Indefinite pa.
Indefinite. So, for the sake sa mga nagmamahal kay BP Sara, sa Binisaya pa, kung sa kay mahita ko pa, what will be the next picture or scenario will happen if in case? Kaya murag ang mga tao karon murag wala nagatalang sa kinabuhat sa kung hindi yung nangyari ngayon sa yung sinabi ni Atty. Vic Rodriguez. Crisis na tayo masyado ngayon. Lahat na taas na. Karoon na lang lang putot ang tayo taas. So, I mean, let's be proud about it. Real talk, Atty. Torio. So, if in case, what will happen if in case your ERO will be granted? But indefinite, so hindi kaya magkaroon ng ibang move ang House of Representatives regarding the impeachment against the Vice President.
Well, para sa mga estudyante ng batas, TRO sa, what's it called this, sa RTC, may 3 days TRO yan. Tapos, within the 3 days TRO, RTC there will be a summary hearing whether or not it should be extended to 20 days. Then, during the 20-day period, there is a summary hearing again that will be conducted in order for the court to determine whether or not a preliminary injunction is to be granted. And the preliminary injunction in the RTC subsists while the case is pending. In the Court of Appeal, 60 days yung TRO.
Okay.
Sa sa Korte Suprema indefinite po. So, ang mangyayari, yung kaso kasi natin, binayan natin sa Supreme Court. Kung mag-grant yung TRO namin, indefinite po yan, unless reversed by the Supreme Court. So, ang mangyayari po yan, kung mag-grantan kami ng TRO, wala na pong hearing.
Diretso na sila.
Oo, dahil wala nang proceeding ng Committee on Justice in the meantime. Okay? Or depende din sa
Yun ho talaga pinakaabangan natin eh. Yung wala na mag-grant standing dyan sa committee na yan.
tenor ng Supreme Court on how it would word the restraining order. Pero sa akin yan, kung may TRO, mabuti yan sa ating bansa. Kasi makakonsentrate na yung mga congressmen natin kung ano ang dapat gagawin natin, anong mga hakbang, anong mga batas ang ipapasa natin para matugunan itong grabe na krisis kapag taas ng gasolina ng ating bansa. At matulungan naman nila makapag-suggest sila sa ating presidente kung anong gagawin. Kasi sa tingin ko kasi ang ating presidente, hindi niya alam anong gagawin eh. So, yun po ang aking nakikita ko.
Tingin sa po, Atty. Victor Rodriguez. Ano-ano po niyo si Congressman Rufus Rodriguez? Kasi ang tanong ko, parang
Ang tagal na ng tanong na yan na umiikot sa aking utak. Kaano-ano nga ba ni Kong Rufus Rodriguez itong si Atty. Vic Rodriguez?
I hope I'm not wrong kung yung narinig ko na. Parang siya lang yata nag-post na hindi siya bumoto. Before bumoto, tapos siya yung huli na bumoto.
Si Kong Rufus is a friend, but when we see each other, since we are both Rodriguez, we address each other as primo. Ayun ang biroan namin.
Okay.
And, well, naiintindihan niya, naging din si Dean Rufus eh. So, ang ating nga, yung nakakaunawa sa batas, ay kinakailangan itaguyod mo ang ating saligang batas. Hindi pa pwedeng pagka-convenient lamang, and then you will raise the constitutional observance of what you're doing. Pagka hindi na convenient sa'yo, wala ng konstitusyon. That is exactly what is happening now. Hindi pa pwede nila na iba yung sukatan na ginamit nila para kay Bongbong, iba yung sukatan na ginagamit nila ngayon para kay Vice President Rene Sara Duterte. And again, let us not be swayed by their false narrative, their false argument that impeachment process is purely political. Again, let me all bring you back to the decision taken by Senior Associate Justice Marvin Yonen. Malinaw niyang sinabi, while it is sui generis, it is not exclusively political. So if ever reading of what impeachment process is all about, it's a play of both legal and political. It cannot be one over the other. Otherwise, ito na yung nangyayari, they are violating the Constitution, and we are in fact helping them to correct their very violations by running to the court and invoking yung Rule 65.
Attorney Acosta, lastly, balik kay Attorney Vic. Sir, you were once the Executive Secretary of the President. How would you put now Marcos administration? Do we still have that future before 2028? May mangyari pa ba kaya? O kung si Dean Torion tumakbo before ng Davao del Sur as governor, sabi niya ay paglaon na. Pero karon, hindi ka may paglaon na? O wala na talaga paglaon? Wala nang pag-asa ang bansang Pilipinas?
Huwag kang mawawala ng pag-asa sa Pilipinas, huwag kang mawawala ng pag-asa sa Pilipino.
Yes.
Mahirap yung laban. Sinasalamulan ng Marcos Jr. administration lahat. Hinanako ang pera. Mahirap ang laban. Pero hindi natin dapat sukuan ang ating bansang Pilipinas. Hindi natin dapat.
Lalo pat birthday ho ngayong araw na to itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Kaya wala akong sukuan ito, ika, di ba? Kahit anong hirap pa niyan, basta ika nga yung prinsipyo, paninindigan at pagmamahal sa bayan, ang naipinakita ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, yun ho ang ating tayuan. Ang dahilan kung bakit nasa dahig na deralisyon ng Tatay Digong, dahil sa pagmamahal niya sa mga anak nyo, sa'yo, sa akin, sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Yan ang dahilan kung bakit siya nandun ngayon. Dahil siya ang pinakaunang nagbulgar ng pagnanakaw ng administrasyon na to. Siya ang pinakaunang nakatikim sa ang tawag dito sa hagupit ng administrasyon itong si Marcos Jr. Weather lang ho yan. Sa ayaw sa gusto nila, next administration, uuwi itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte.
At sumuha ng Pilipino. In fact, tulong-tulong tayo, ayusin natin ang ating bansa. Hindi na ho para sa atin, kundi sa bawat kabataang Pilipino.
So, ibig ko say, hindi
Di pa ba
hindi
tapos?
bagong Pilipinas as what you have said, hindi bagong Pilipinas, kundi may bagong pag-asa sa Pilipinas.
Hindi tayo dapat mawalan ng pag-asa sa pagsisilbi at pagmamahal sa ating bansa. At hindi natin dapat sukuan ang bawat Pilipino. Wow!
Thank you very much, Attorney Picture.
Thank you very much.
Saludo. Maraming salamat sa ating mga magigiting na abogado. Hindi ko gaano narinig nagsalita itong si Atty. JB Hinlo. Anyway, doon pa lang kay Atty. Vic at dito kay Atty. Israeli Tutorion, talagang solidong-solido at planchadong-planchado na. Kung ano nga ba ang gusto nilang mangyari dyan sa pagsasampa ng petition na yan sa Korte Suprema. So always, maligayang kaarawan sa ating napakagiting na pinuno, President Rodrigo Duterte. Mabuhay ho kayo. Maraming salamat, Tatay Diggs.